Have you been sitting around trying to figure out what type of traveler you are? Just confused about it? Don't worry, it's not just you. I'm here to help you out. My name is Keisha Mack. Welcome back to my channel. It's not just you. Today we're going to talk about what type of traveler you are. And why are we going to talk about that? Because I get so many people that come up to me asking me about traveling, and I'm like, you can't just travel. You have to know what type of traveler you are. Like, I'm somewhere in between everything that we're going to talk about today. I like to be spontaneous sometimes. Sometimes I like need to be a traveler. I like to plan my travel. Let me slow down. But anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. So, are you a planner or a spontaneous traveler? Why is that? Or you could be a little bit of both. Why is that important? Because most planners focus on budget. They want cost savings. Some people start planning their trips up to 2 years out and paying on these trips. It's easier for them. They don't have to worry about the cost once time comes for the trips to come up. Also, a lot of planners may have 2 or 3 trips being paid for at a time. So you see people on trips all the time and you wonder how they have their money. Well, most of them probably plan for that and have been paying on these trips for multiple years. Like, a lot of planners already have trips scheduled for 2026, 2027 already that they're paying on or already paid for. So, spontaneous travelers tend to embrace flexibility. They're ready to go whenever the wind blows. You say go, hey, I'm ready. They got the money ready. They don't care about the cost. They don't worry about planning and what they're going to do. They like to be spontaneous. So they're open to doing whatever. They just want to get there and enjoy exploring. Most of you planners, they want to know where they're going, when they're going to be there, what are we going to do when we get there? Are we going to go to this place? No, that might not be something. Where just spontaneous travels, they're like, girl, where are we going? What are we doing? Let me know when we get there. I'm there. And that's typically me. Now, I will say there are times where I am wanting to go somewhere specifically because there is somewhere I want to go. But if not, I'm ready for any and everything. I'm really open when it comes to traveling. You got to be open minded. Now, the good thing with being spontaneous is, we talk about cruising a lot over here. Cruises have a lot of last minute deals. Not only cruising, resorts have last minute deals. They always want to sell out. They never want to have empty rooms or empty cabins. So they always try to give you these last minute deals. Spontaneous travelers can get those last minute deals and be just fine. So think about that when you're thinking about what type of traveler you are. People that are a combination of both, they don't mind. Here I go. For me, I have trips that I have been paying for since last year that I'm going on this year, but I've also added trips already this year. I'm about to go on a cruise that wasn't scheduled, wasn't part of my planning. Well, actually, I have 2 cruises that I'm going on, one with Virgin and one with Royal this year that I've just spontaneously added, and I'm fine with that. I have a trip to Jamaica that's been planned, I have a trip to Greece that's already been pre-planned last year, previous years. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for 2026 and possibly 2027. But go with it. Whatever one you are, just know which one you are because you may be traveling, you may be a spontaneous traveler trying to plan a trip with somebody that's a planner. And that can be overwhelming to that person that is a planner. Anxiety may kick in. They just may be all over the place. Like, hey, I don't want to do this because we don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're doing. And they will not be able to really enjoy their trip because of the fact that they're worried about the whole planning process. Planners are really strict to what they want to do, where they want to go, and how much they want to pay. So know what type of planner you are, know what type of traveler you are in that aspect, as well as who you're going to be traveling with, because that will be important. It could make or break your trip. Next thing, are you a solo traveler, a group traveler, a family traveler? You looking for a vacation? Which one are you looking for? Solo travelers like to travel alone. They looking for personal growth or discovery. They just want some alone time to think, and then they have freedom to explore independently. They don't mind that. Some people cannot travel alone and aren't comfortable traveling alone. So in those cases, group travel may be for them. You get friendship groups. You got girlfriend groups, you got organized groups. I'm planning my first Veterans Day cruise for veterans, so people that want to get together, like minded people. So it's something that, is a thing for people, traveling with groups. You can travel alone with a group and intermingle with people already associated with the group, or you can plan your own group. For me, I have a group that I travel with on cruises. This is how I started with Virgin. I like to travel, couldn't find anybody to travel with, and I found this group on Facebook, and I was like, hey, I want to go, and I've been going with them since then. Even as a travel advisor, I will still be going with this group because I made connections with these people and made some friendships that have grown out of that group travel that I just didn't know what I was getting myself into, and now that will be a group that I travel with at least once a year right now. We have shared experiences. We can go back and talk about the things we did on our first group trip when we first got together, when we first met everybody. And now here we go, multiple years later, we're talking about, hey, are you going on this trip this year? Are you going on that trip next year? Like, what are we doing? And we still stay connected. And it's a lot of opportunities for social interactions. I consider myself an introvert. A lot of people tell me they don't think I'm an introvert. Now, I am coming out of my shell. It was a goal of mine to get out of that space of being an introvert because growing up, I was never an introvert. When I first joined the military, I was never an introvert. I don't know what happened where I so-called became an introvert. I used to be the life of the party, a social butterfly. I wanted to be everywhere with everybody and do all the things with all the people. Now that I'm a little older, not so much. I want to know, who am I going to be around? Am I going to gel with this person? Am I going to gel with these people? It's different now. Now I like to be amongst the people now, but I still need to have my time to myself. Sometimes it's draining being around a lot of people. But when I'm going on trips, I already expect that, so I'm open to that. But when I come back, I'm probably down for a week with interacting with people. I probably sit in my house for about a week with none of my friends here seeing me because I just need to revive myself from all of the energy that I've expelled being out on the trip, if that makes sense. Family travel. Are you a person that likes to travel with your family, kids, cousins, family reunions? There's so many people that travel with family in so many different ways. When you're looking at traveling with family, you have to make sure your destinations are kid friendly. Are they friendly for the elderly? What type of activities are you going to be doing? Are people with mobility issues, are they going to be able to do all of the activities that you're looking to do? Vacation. You're going with your significant other, your boo thing, right? I don't have one of them yet, but God gonna help me with that. My husband gonna find me one day soon. Anyway, here I go off on a tangent again, y'all. Y'all know I'm good for that. But anyway, if you're going on a vacation, you might want something that's a little more romantic, secluded. Not like the group trip that you might want to go on. Not so much as what you would look for with a solo trip. So again, this is why it's important to know what type of traveler you are. So when you're planning your trip, you know what type of things that you are looking for. Next thing, you flying or you going on a road trip? I don't like to take road trips for too long. I'm not that person that's going to be in the car for long. Send me on a flight, and I'm good. I'm good with that. I know people saying a lot of people don't want to fly right now. They're worried about all the crashes going on, and they're canceling trips left and right. But guess what? Keisha's going to say her prayer, and I'm going to trust God for whatever's going to happen, and I'm getting on a plane. Now, there are some people that don't like to fly. I have a cousin, she is never, ever going to get on a plane. She would drive from Virginia to Texas, and it's no problem for her. She'll do it, and it's no big deal for her. She doesn't mind, but she's still going to travel, but she's going to travel by car. She's also never going to get on a boat. She's never going to take a cruise. I'm hoping to be able to talk her into it one day, but as for right now, I know it's a no. She's not ready for that yet. So she may be a person that just wants to take She wants to go somewhere where she's going to be able to drive to. So that makes a difference for the locations. Somebody's not willing to drive, they're not going overseas. I mean, I'm sorry, not wanting to fly. They're not going to be ones that's wanting to go overseas. They're not going to be the people that you're traveling out of the country with. They're also probably not going to be the one that you're taking a trip from East Coast to West Coast with. But you have to think about those things because when you're trying to plan travel for or with somebody, you want to know what type of traveler you are and they are to see if you're compatible. People that like to take road trips, even with that, you still have to figure out how long of a road trip is it going to take? Is it something that you're going to drive to in a few hours, or is it something that you need to plan? Okay, we're driving for 8 to 10 hours today. We're going to stop and rest and drive 8 to 10 hours tomorrow. Again, you have to know about that because when you start planning your travel, you want to know how many days you have. You're not going to take a 2 to 3 day weekend trip for somewhere that's going to take you 2 days to drive to. So think about that, especially if you're using a travel advisor. These are the things that your travel advisor will need to know when planning your trip. Do you need a passport? Or are you that person that's not leaving the US? My sister in law is never going out of the country. My god brother, my nephew, they're all ready to go at any given time. She will go anywhere. She will get on the plane. She's just not good with going out of the country. She doesn't need a passport. If you're somebody that knows that you want to leave the US, you need a passport, get that passport ASAP. If you like to travel and you do have a passport, whenever you're going out of the country, always make sure that passport is good for 6 months past the date of your return. That is going to be something that's important. Also know the rules of the places that you're visiting because some places have different rules. Like say you go to Dubai. In Dubai, women have to be covered up. So you're not going to pack the same things that you would pack for that Caribbean vacation if you're going to a place like Dubai. Women have to be covered up. They can't show their bodies. PDA is not um, it's against the law to have certain levels of PDA. So you have to think about that. Also, some areas you can't wear camouflage to. I want to say Jamaica, Antigua, St. Lucia. I think those are places that you cannot wear camouflage. It's against the law. So you want to know these things. Also, you want to make sure that the places you go to are LGBT friendly. If you're a part of that community, there are places that could be dangerous for that. So these are all things that you really need to make sure you keep in mind. You can't just say, "Hey, I just want to go somewhere. I just want to travel." You have to do your research, know what type of traveler you are, and to know what type of things would be good for you. Also, if you're not going overseas and you just want to stay in the US, what type of experience do you want? You need to make sure you're thinking about the type of weather, East Coast, West Coast, seasons. When you talk about seasons and weather, New York and Chicago are going to be different than, say, Texas, New Orleans, California, Florida. They're going to be different. Weather's going to be nicer. Are you wanting to go to a beachy area or do you want to go to a mountainous area? Some people want the mountains. I've been to California. I have been hiking in the sequoias and it was a beautiful thing. But the weather's a little different. That perfect time to go to something like that is in the springtime because in the spring, if you're going to the mountains, all of the snow starts to melt and you get all the waterfalls and it's beautiful. It's a great thing to see. If you've never been to the mountains to go hiking, give it a try. I know they always say black people don't hike, but guess what? We do. We might not be doing a bunch of camping out there on the hiking trails, but we like to hike. It's a fun time. If you haven't done it, I would definitely recommend trying it. Are you wanting national monuments, theme parks? You wanting the Grand Canyon? Are you wanting Disney World? So things like that you also want to think about. And also, are you wanting something that has party vibes? A lot of people like to go to Miami, Las Vegas, New Orleans for that party vibe. Then other people want places like Destin. That's going to be a more relaxed environment. You want like what is it, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, a place that people like to go to relax. So figure that part out as well. You just because you're staying stateside doesn't mean that you don't have options. You still have a lot of options anywhere you travel. So just keep those things in mind. There's always something for everybody when it comes to traveling. Just get out there and do it. Find out what works for you. Okay. The next thing when it comes to traveling, you have to know what type of traveler you are and what works for you and the people that you are with. I am 100% a TSA pre-check, global entry, American Express lounge person. That is me. If I'm traveling with somebody that doesn't have pre-check, global entry, lounge access, guess what? I'll meet you at the gate in time for the flight to take off. That is just me. I'm not going to change that. I'm not about to stand in the lines with you guys just because you chose not to get pre-check, global entry, especially if you're a person that likes to travel frequently. And the reason I say this because TSA pre-check is like between $78, $85 like that, and it's good for 5 years. You get your dedicated lines. They're usually shorter. You don't have to take off your shoes. Excuse me. You don't have to take off your shoes. You don't have to take your laptops out of your suitcase. You get through faster. And guess what? For a few dollars more, you get global entry, which comes with TSA pre-check. And I want to say global entry is maybe $100 to $125. I don't know. They probably raised the price since I last got it, since everything seems to be going up now. But it's worth it if you are a frequent traveler. Now, global entry gives you the same benefits as TSA pre-check, but in addition to that, when you come back into the U.S., there are shorter lines. It's like you get like facial recognition. You have to go through a background check before you get that. By me being in the military, it was easy. My background check, most of everything was already done. They already have everything on me. So they didn't have to do a huge background check, but you do have to go through an interview process, a background check. They make sure that everything checks good and you're part of global entry. Expedited through customs, it is amazing. I would definitely recommend if you travel often, even if you travel just once a year, get TSA pre-check or global entry. Also, you can have Clear. Now, I don't have Clear yet. I'm thinking about getting it because with my credit card, they reimburse me for all the charges for Clear anyway. So there's no reason why I don't have it. I just haven't seen the benefit of it because global entry and TSA pre-check are everywhere. Clear is in certain airports right now. And I think they are getting to more airports right now, but the only one that I saw where Clear would have been a better option for me was New Orleans. And I forget what we went to New Orleans. I think maybe the Cowboys Saints game. And the lines going in and out of there were ridiculous. Even at the TSA pre-check line, but Clear was Clear. And that was the only place that I think it really benefited me because not, like I said, not every airport currently has Clear. So, with that being said, make sure you know what type of traveler you are because that helps to alleviate not just stress in planning your travel, but executing travel and knowing who to travel with. You got to be compatible with your travel partner. Don't be that one that I'm leaving behind at the gate. I promise you, if you travel with me and you don't have pre-check, at least pre-check, because I can get you into the lounge with me. But if you don't have pre-check, I'll meet you on the other side. I'm probably gonna be sitting somewhere with a drink by the time you get through that line or whatever, especially on vacation. Don't judge me. It can be 8 o'clock in the morning. If I want to sit at the bar and have a drink, guess what? They serve alcohol at that time for a reason because there's people like me that are sitting there. And it's not just me. There's other people, like-minded people, I call them my tribe, that's also sitting at the airport at that time of day having a drink. That's why they have it open. It's not just me. I'm not that special where they're doing that just for me. But anyway, y'all, thanks for checking out this video. I hope it helps when you're planning your next travel. If you need a travel advisor, feel free to contact me. I'll put my info in the description block. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Share. Don't forget to like. Did y'all like the video yet? What you waiting for? Like the video. I'm trying to grow my channel, y'all. All right. But thanks for stopping by. I hope this video helped. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.